Hi guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back again for another video for you, and today's video is the FPL team selection for Game Week 3. We have quite a lot to discuss today regarding transfers. Obviously, we haven't done a video in a while, so yeah, we thought we'd come on and show you our team selection ahead of Game Week 3. A lot to discuss, but yeah, how you doing, Jordan?
I'm good, thanks. Everything's good here. Hope everyone else is doing well in the stream who have joined. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting stream for the Game Week 3 team selection.
Yeah, we will talk about transfers. We have a lot to discuss, don't we? Because obviously, Game Week 3 is when we've been anticipating some excitement in terms of transfers. Obviously, Game Week 1, most people rolled if they didn't have anything to do. Even Game Week 2, it was quite boring. I think most people rolled the transfer. So, Game Week 3, a lot of people do have 2 free transfers, which makes Game Week 3 very interesting because there's a lot of different ways you can go. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this transfers. So yeah, let's get into your team first. But before we do, we just got to tell you guys, please do drop a like on the stream if you can. And also subscribe if you guys are new to our channel. That would be really appreciated. So yeah, Jordan, let's start with your team soon. Let's bring it up. So as you guys can see on the screen, this is Jordan's team after Game Week 2. Just talk us through your team, Jordan. Yeah, just talk us through your team, what you got.
Okay, so after Game Week 2, I had Mendy in goal and the back four, Trent, Cancelo, Trippier and Zinchenko. And then four in the midfield, Bailey, Mahrez, Luis Diaz and Salah. And then up front, the two forwards who were Jesus and Haaland. And on the bench, the goalkeeper, the Fulham goalkeeper, and Nico Williams and Andreas, and the guy that I can't pronounce his name.
All right, yeah, Derby Soglu, I think, for the Brentford striker.
Yeah, and my team value at that point was 100.2 mil, and I had 0 in the bank, but I did carry 2 free transfers into Game Week 3 for me to use. And yes, those 2 free transfers, we will eventually see what I've done with those. I think some people already know what I've done with the first one. If you did see my tweet on Twitter, on our Twitter, I did transfer out Mahrez for Martinelli midweek just to avoid the price rise of Martinelli to go to 6.3 mil. So I did buy him for 6.2 just to save up on that 0.2 price. And yeah, the next transfer you will see in the next slide after. Obviously.
See, yeah, so after Game Week 2, obviously you've got 2 free transfers to make. Obviously, you done one early, so you took Martinelli out. Sorry, not Martinelli out. You took Mahrez out, and you bought in Martinelli just for the price rise, isn't it? Because he was 6.2 and now he's 6.3, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gone early there, and then the second one we will obviously come on to in a sec. So talk about the rest of the team. Like, was there anything else you were considering, or are you happy with your team how it looks currently for Game Week 3?
I mean, it was difficult to remove Bailey from the team initially after Game Week 2. I was trying to figure out who I could replace him with, but because of the money issue with that, as now especially Bailey is 4.9 mil because the price drop the other day, he's no longer 5 million. So it makes it even more tricky now to replace him. So I did decide to keep him in my team, but he is now on my bench for the time being. And yeah, with not me able to figure out who to replace Bailey with, I did go around a different avenue. And obviously I went the Mahrez avenue and basically downgraded him to a cheaper midfielder. And then it does leave me with spare money in the bank. I think I had 1.7 mil spare, which I could then use to upgrade a player to someone else who we will see soon. Okay. And yeah, that was the plan originally. It was originally for Bailey to be removed, but I changed that and went to Mahrez instead, as I was disappointed with him in Game Week 2 against Bournemouth. It wasn't Wasn't great for Mahrez getting the 3 points. I was quite unhappy with that. So yeah, Mahrez is no longer in my team. And obviously the captaincy choice was very disappointing in that week.
Oh, hold on. Before we get into captain, so this is your team at the moment.
Yeah.
We are going to chat about captains in a sec. I just want to stay on this team. So you've got 2 free transfers this week. So that's your team.
Yeah.
And the 2 moves you're making is this. So
Yeah. I was only going to mention the captain from that week and vice.
Oh, can you go through your second transfer if you can? Like you've took out the Visoglu, the Brentford striker, and you've bought in Embuemo. What's your thinking behind that one?
Yeah, so the 1.7 mil that I had spare to spend, I did upgrade the Brentford forward to Embuemo, who is 6 million. I would have liked to upgrade him to Tony, but obviously because Tony is 7 million, I didn't have enough funds to get him in. So I did go down the route of Embuemo, who has Fulham away as the next fixture in game week 3. And he is kind of a differential pick. I kind of like to have at least one differential in my team because Mahrez was my other differential, and now Ibromo is. I think his ownership is like 4.9%. It might have changed since then, but he is under 10% ownership. So it would be a good. I feel like it's a good move, especially with Brentford having Fulham away and then coming off the 4-0 win against Man United beforehand. I do have high hopes that Ibromo hopefully returns against Fulham as well, especially with that ownership low. It'll be great for my rank if he does get anything from that game. And yeah, basically after that, it's left me with 0.2 in the bank, which is something I guess spare.
Yeah, so you've used up both your free transfers, which is obviously is good. I see you've gone with a 4-3-3, obviously a change of formation as well. You've gone with the 3 up top, which is interesting. I've also seen you've benched Trippier for Nico, I assume. So what's your thoughts behind, just very quickly, game week 3 and your team lining up? Like, are you happy with the players and you got the fixtures as well? What would you think your team's lining up? You expect a good week?
I expect an average week. I would expect it to be as great as the other 2 game weeks have been. I think this will be a little bit less high point scoring game week, I think, for this, because there is a lot of away fixtures. I think actually all my players are playing away, so there is going to be a bit of a difference in terms of points and returns. And yeah, it's probably a surprise that Trippier is benched, or it might not be, obviously, because they have Man City home. We did see beforehand Newcastle struggling against Brighton. Their attacking threat was really dangerous at times. I think Trippier at one point cleared it off the line for Newcastle. So I was a bit hesitant to bring Trippier into my team into game week 3 against Man City, especially because I feel like Newcastle won't be able to control Man City. So yeah, I have played Nico Williams over Trippier for that game, and obviously you can see Barley is benched, and that's for obvious reasons. Maybe he doesn't start, and if he does, he'll probably come on and get 1 point. I do think Nico Williams will outscore Bailey, even if Nottingham Forest don't keep a clean sheet or concede a goal.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so you are rocking the 4-3-3. So I see you've gone Captain Salah over Jesus as well. Just very quickly, reasoning behind that, because obviously you were also keen on Jesus. So what made you sway towards Salah?
I think with the problems that Man United are having, I feel like Liverpool are going to have a field day, especially with Liverpool drawing their 2 games they've had previously. I think with that in mind, Liverpool are going to be really focused on this Man United fixture and have to basically win, I think, if they want any chance of winning the Premier League title this season, sorry. Because with 2 draws off the bounce for Liverpool, that's not great at all, especially with Man City winning their first 2. They want to really start winning their games, Liverpool. And I do think this is a winnable fixture that Liverpool will have, and Salah is going to, I'll say, be very beneficial like he was last season against Man United. We scored in the hat trick, I think.
Yeah, the hat trick
against Man United. So I think as we see Man United in a worse state this year so far, I think Liverpool are going to have a field day, especially Salah, when they go against each other at the weekend.
Okay, interesting. So that is your team for game week 3. Let's now move on to my team and what I'm playing this week. So this is my team at the moment. So as you guys can see, I've got Ramsdale in goal, I've got Robertson, I've got Trent, Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, and Reece James. And in the midfield 3, I've got Salah, Bailey, Martinelli, Jesus, and Haaland. I did get 70 points for game week 2, which I was quite happy about. I did get a green arrow up to about 341k. So it was a decent game week overall for me. Now, obviously, the annoying thing about my team this week was the fact that Bailey didn't start and he ended up coming on for a 1-pointer. So my first thoughts straight away after game week 2 were I need to remove Bailey from the team because he's just not worked out. And unfortunately, he did drop in price. He is now 4.9 million. I did miss the price rise. I didn't do early transfers, so it's one of those. I should have. Now look back in it, I should have took him out early, but I left it. He did go down in price, and now I am gonna basically remove him from my team. And if you guys did watch our last video in the transfer tips video that we always do every week, I did say you shouldn't really sell Robertson, which is an interesting one because as we come onto my plans, I am actually going to remove Robertson. And after saying that, that he's a good pick, and I still believe he's a good pick, but here's my explanation. So the first thing I wanted to do is remove Bailey. So when I remove Bailey, I've got 0.5 in the bank. That leaves me with about 4.6 million to play with ish. Sorry, 5.5 million to play with. So once I remove Bailey from my team, there's not any other midfielder I can go to. There's Damari Gray at Everton. There's Pedro Neto, who I'm not really keen on. So because there is no options for me to upgrade from Bailey to another 5.5, what I've decided to do to change the structure slightly is take money out of Robertson, which allows me to bring in a good midfielder and have a good defender at the same time, rather than having a very expensive defender and having Bailey, for example. So yeah, guys, I don't think Robertson is a bad pick. The only reason I'm removing him from my team is literally for structural reasons, and I will come on to. So I am planning on making 3 transfers this week. I do plan on taking a -4. So I've got 2 free transfers, as you guys can see on the screen, and the current moves, and this is what I'm thinking at the moment. So I want to do Robertson to Kyle Walker. I want to do Ruben Diaz to Cucurella, and then I want to upgrade Bailey all the way up to Luis Diaz at Liverpool. So that is the plan, as Jack Grealish 72 has basically commented right now saying buy Robbo, Diaz, and Bailey. Those are the 3 I'm taking out. Regarding Robbo, I wouldn't really want to sell him, but the reason I pretty much have to is I feel like the only way I could remove Bailey from my team is by getting rid of Robertson. And yeah, that's why I have to basically go down that route. So this is what I'm looking like. So as you guys can see on the screen, that's the team. And then these are with the changes. So as you can see, I've bought in Kyle Walker, I've bought in Cucurella, and Luis Diaz is now in my midfield, and that gives me an 8 million midfielder slot to play around with. And I also have double Man City defense because I've got Kyle Walker. So for one of the main things for me was I want double Man City defense no matter what. And downgrading Ruben Diaz, I was always going to go Kyle Walker. And then Cucurella is the interesting one. We will speak about his risk. He is a bit of a minutes risk, I guess, and we will talk about Cucurella in a bit. But that is the team at the moment. What I'm thinking for a -4. So do let me know what you guys think of those moves in the comments below. Well, Jack Grealish says those 3 are great moves. I think this restructuring is the only one worth a hit this week. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to take a hit this week because I did say in the last stream I was a bit confused. Oh, not confused, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in terms of transfers this week. And after a lot of debating, I think is the way I want to go, just so I can just because there's more options in midfield. Sorry, more options in defense there is in midfield. Because if you look at Bailey, he's a 5 million midfielder, right? And he's not been great at all, if we're being honest. But when you look at the defense, look how many 5 million defender options there are. There's Kieran Trippier, there's Saliba at 4.5, there's Dunk at 5 million. There's so many more defenders, and this is why from game week 1 I've always wanted to play a back five. I think there is more better defenders that are cheaper than midfielders. Because if you look at the midfield, you've got the guys at 8 million, and then you've got Martinelli, and then underneath Martinelli, there's basically nothing else there. You've got Bailey, you've got Neto, and you've got like, who is there at 5 million? Damari Gray, Gordon, if you want to go there. But I'm just not really too keen on those cheap midfielders, and I'd rather have an expensive backline. But if you look at my team, every single player in my team is pretty much a top 4 team. Like I don't want to have players from like outside the top 6. I just think because the way FPL have priced the game this year, it lets us have a pretty strong team from game week 2, game week 3. As you can see with my team, I feel like I've got most of the top team players in my team, so I'm very happy with that. And I think big at the back is going to become quite template going forward. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We've got Michael Parker's in the stream. He says, "Good evening, gents. That's a brilliant idea. Diaz in for Robbo. I get it." Yeah, I think if I'm being completely honest, obviously I went with Robertson over Diaz in game week 1, but that was more because I just thought Robertson could match Diaz in points. I still believe Robertson will get points. I know Liverpool haven't had a good start to the season, mainly because they've conceded quite a lot. But over the next 5-6 game weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if Robertson and Diaz are quite closer in terms of points. If Liverpool get those clean sheets, Liverpool are struggling with injuries at the moment. But yeah, it's mainly just to restructure the team because I can't literally fit in that, or I can't get rid of Bailey basically. Michael Parker says, "Do you have Martinelli?" Yeah, me and Jordan both do have Martinelli. I've had him since game week 1, so yeah, but I'm planning to keep him as well.
Yep.
Jack Grealish says, "I'll literally be on this exact team next week because I'm not keen on the hit." Fair enough. Robbo and Diaz are equal, but more defenders and midfielder in the 5.6 million bracket. Yep, this is the exact reason why I've decided to take Robertson out. There's a lot of cheap defender options, and there's not enough cheap midfielder options from what I've seen so far. And Diaz, obviously, he did score a nice goal against Palace, and I think another reason with Diaz that makes Diaz even more attractive, I think, to hold and to bring in potentially is Darwin Núñez has just got red carded, so he's going to miss the next 3 games. Jota is still injured. So Liverpool don't really have any rotation risk there with Diaz. He should play every game, should play 90 minutes. Firmino's back from injury, so Firmino, you'd assume, will play up top. Diaz ain't losing his place on the left, and then you've got Salah on the right. So, yeah, I think Diaz is going to be a good option, guys, especially with the Núñez suspension and the Jota injury. So, yeah, that is my team. I've also gone with Salah captain, same as Jordan. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with Salah. I think it's a close one this week. I know I still expect Salah to be the highly owned captain for this game week, but I don't think Jesus will be that far behind him. But the reason I've gone with Salah, I just think Man United, obviously, they are struggling. Just lost 4-0 to Brentford. And Liverpool, despite the draw against Palace, their numbers are still quite good. Like, if you watch that game, I thought they played quite well despite them not winning. And yeah, Salah's just one of those players that he's got a very good record as well against Man United. I think he's got 7 goals against them or 8 goals in the last however many games. So yeah, I do like the Salah armband, and I think he's just a bit more, just a bit more reliable. But Jesus against Bournemouth could punish us. Don't get me wrong. You saw what Jesus can do: 2 goals, 2 assists as well in his last game. So it's going to be an interesting one to see who does outscore who, because that could be a good swing in points if you get that right or wrong. I'll let you take this comment, Jordan.
Michael Park says, "Yep, it's just perfect. I'll need to do a wild card to get these lot in. I don't have Reece, Martinelli, Diaz, or Walker."
Oh, okay. I mean, Martinelli obviously is quite a popular. Maybe you can transfer him in. I'm assuming you do have 2 free transfers, so maybe you can get away with a wild card. But if you feel like you need a wild card, you can also play it. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong getting an early wild card this year, especially with the World Cup. But yeah, guys, that is my current thinking. So I'll just go through that again quickly. So this is the current team. So I'm going with Ruben Diaz, Robertson, Bailey out, Kyle Walker, Cucurella, and Diaz comes in. So that is the team, which is a -4 as well. I am taking a hit, and then that leaves me with 0.3 million in the bank as well. Later down the line, if I wanted to bring in, say, I don't know, a Trippier or whoever, if I needed down the line. But yeah, look, Jordan, we've got to recap your team as well, obviously. So
yeah. So
the two,
Mahrez,
yep.
Mahrez out for Martinelli, and Divossiglu out for Mbeumo, and
Okay,
those are
yeah.
my 2 free transfers that I've used. That I'm going to use this week. I've already used one, so I've still got one left to do, which is the Mbeumo one. But I'm going to do that at the deadline stream because he is not in any issue of rising in price, so I can afford to leave that till the end. But yeah, those are my 2 free transfers that I'll be making or have made this week for Game Week 3.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So you've decided to also use the 2 free transfers, and you are rocking the 4-3-3 as well. And then coming on to me, that is a team, guys. If you do, guys, have any questions down below, do drop them in, and we'll try our best to answer them. And we will speak about some specific players actually in the stream. But also, guys, if you have just joined the stream, please don't forget to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new around here. We are very, very close to 400 subscribers. If we can get there, that would be very, very good. So yeah, please do drop a like. Yeah, let's speak about some players because Jack Grealish saying Reece James is going to kill you, Jordan. And yes, speaking about Chelsea fullbacks, we do have to mention Chelsea fullbacks. The reason I want to talk about Chelsea is because I've bought in Cucurella. That's my plan to bring him in this week. He's 5 million. He did get the assist on the weekend against Spurs with the corner, I believe. I think a lot of people are looking at Cucurella right now. What's your thoughts, Jordan, on the Chelsea defense? Because obviously you've gone without any Chelsea defenders in your back line. Because yeah, what do you think of this comment about the Reece James thing?
Well,
are you worried or
not really worried because it is arguably not knowing where Reece James is positioned in. Obviously, last game we saw him in like the centre, well, not centre back, but
right centre back, yeah,
right centre back, yeah. So it was kind of off-putting seeing Reece James in that position because we all know he's better at right wing back position. We saw it where he scored last game week, but unless his position changes, I'm not really going to be convinced to bring Reece James in, and he hasn't really come into mind, especially at 6 million. It's hard for me to bring him in to my team, the way my team is structured. But he could be maybe a future transfer for me. But at the moment, I'm comfortable without Reece James, even though he does return. It does hurt my rank as it did the last game week when he got the goal. It did particularly downgrade my rank, but at the same time, that could be with any player that's highly owned like Reece James is. So that's just a risk I'm willing to take, and just hoping that it doesn't cost me that much without having Reece James in my team.
Okay, that's fair enough. I will read this comment out in a sec. We will get on to Luis Diaz and Rodrigo and Gross, so bear with us for a sec, Krosberg. But I just want to stay on Cucurella for a sec because I've bought him in, and there is that slight worry that he's a bit of a minutes risk. Because Chelsea, Ben Chilwell did start game week 1. He played, he won the penalty, and Cucurella started against Spurs. Now, is there a slight worry? Cucurella, people that do own him or that are looking to bring him in. One thing I will say, I do believe Cucurella is still a slight minutes risk. The reason I'm willing to bring him in is because I want to take a bit of a punt on a player with high potential. He's 5 million. I think as a short-term punt in the next 4 or 5 games, I think Cucurella is still a good option if you want to bring him in. But I do understand there are slight risks bringing Cucurella in. He might not play, but from what I've seen, especially with Tuchel's comments in the weekend, especially after the game, he did say Ben Chilwell is still not up to speed with the game. And that does give me a bit of a hope that Cucurella would nail down that left wing back role for at least another few weeks. If it goes wrong, I'm happy to transfer Cucurella out. But for now, I think because he's 5 million, because he started against Spurs, he played well as well. He played very well. I do plan to keep him in there for the next few weeks, and then I'm willing to change my mind later down the line if anything happens to him, because I do have 0.3 in the bank to upgrade him. So, yeah, for me, Cucurella is in. You could also go Perisic. I know a lot of chat about Perisic. He did get the assist. He came on for about 10 minutes, got an assist. But I think Perisic is a bit more of a risk than Cucurella, because we've seen Cucurella start a game now. Perisic is still up in the air for me, and maybe a bit more too risky than I'm willing to take anyway. So, yeah. We've got to answer some questions here actually regarding Cucurella. Now, Jack Grealish says, I think Cucurella is pretty safe for minutes next 2 to 3 game weeks, especially with no Fofana there yet. Worst case that I see is that he plays left centre back. Yeah, I think that's also possible. He could play left centre back. I did see somewhere that Tuchel did potentially say he could play there. Obviously, I hope he carries on at left wing back. Cuckoo risk when Chilwell is back better than Koulibaly, or better with Koulibaly. Yeah, there's like I said, there always is that risk when Ben Chilwell comes back. He might take his position back as left wing back. But if I'm being honest, the way Cucurella's played, especially game week 1, I'm happy to take that risk. And just go with him. And if I get it wrong, then I'll just transfer him out. And yeah, Michael Parker also does say Koulibaly looks great. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he does look good, but he's 5.5 million as well. So I want to just go, cheaper, 0.5 and get Cucurella for budget reasons. And I still think Cucurella, and also Cucurella is on assists. He's on corners, set pieces. So, and he could get potential assists from that. So I like the look of that one as well.
Yeah, and Koulibaly did score at the weekend. He did score the header from the corner for Cucurella. So there is that. I will agree with Michael Parks on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks good. He has fitted in pretty well. And Chelsea's defense, that's why I'm not too worried doubling up on Chelsea's defense as of now. I still think they are pretty good defensively. I know they conceded 2 against Spurs, but I think they were a bit fortunate in that game, Spurs. And on another day, maybe they don't concede those 2 goals. But yeah, I still think Chelsea have one of the better defenses in the league, and I'm not too like against doubling up on them, because I've got Cucurella and Reece James. So yeah, I think it's all right. Michael Parker says, I've not got any free transfers. Use one for Cucurella, Real, Cancelo, Trent, Salah, Kulusevski, Neto, Zaha, Jesus, Haaland, and Buemo. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you think your team needs a wild card, then I guess you've got to play it, but it's up to you. It's obviously team specific whether you need a wild card or not, but I think your team looks pretty fine to me. Zaha obviously did get a goal as well against Liverpool, so what do I know? Because I was saying Zaha, I didn't fancy him in that game, but he did score. Jack Grealish also says he doesn't like the Kante injury. Yeah, that is a slight worry as well.
Oh, I didn't realise Kante was injured.
Yeah, he did. I think he did go off slightly injured. Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure how long that is for, how serious it is. Jordan, I'll let you take this as well if you take this question.
Kolsberg says, I have both Rodrigo and Gross instead of Luis Diaz. Good pick or bad?
Well, I just think, they're both at what? Rodrigo's at 6.1 in it at the moment.
Yeah, and Gross is 4.6, I think.
No, he's 6
Or
as well. Pascal Gross.
Oh,
He has he had a price rise?
he has. Is
With me, I think they're both good picks. I'm not so sure on bringing in Rodrigo, if I'm being honest, because he's got Chelsea next. So Leeds play Chelsea in game week 3. Do I really want to bring in Rodrigo ahead of that? Maybe not. But I can see why you've gone with it. Obviously, he's had a price rise now as well. So I can see what you mean. But for me personally, I think I'd wait because obviously that Chelsea fixture doesn't look that good. But he's on penalties now, I think, as well, because of Bamford's injury. So maybe he becomes decent there. And regarding Pascal Gross, Brighton do have good fixtures. If I just bring up Brighton's fixtures on here, bear with me for a sec. It's just, sorry guys, just trying to bring up the Brighton fixtures. Brighton do have West Ham next, so yeah, it's not the best fixture for Brighton, I guess, but you never know. They've been playing pretty well this season, if I'm being honest, from what I've seen. And then they've got Leeds, Fulham, and Leicester, and then Bournemouth as well in game week 7. So yeah, I like the Gross move. I think he's one that you can go with. Was it about 6 million as well, isn't he? So
yeah, I think 6.1 now.
yeah,
Risen in price, I think.
Yeah, I'm just checking now. Yeah, no, he's 5.6. My bad. He was 5.5. He's gone up to 5.6. So I think he is a good option in that bracket, 5.5. There's not many options if we're being honest, and that's the main reason why I've gone to Luis Diaz, as you can see. But if I had to pick, I think Gross is probably one of the better options, especially with the Brighton fixtures coming up. We've got Ilias. He says Madison and Mbuemo or Tony and Harrison. Jordan.
Oh, I'd probably go with Madison and Wemo, just because of the way the fixtures are for Leicester and Brentford. They're really good because Leicester has Southampton home and Brentford have Fulham away. So there's 2 good fixtures for both of those players. I mean, it is the same to Tony, and you would say, well, maybe Harrison, but I'll be more keen on having Mbuemo and Madison. They're a bit more of a goal threats together, those 2 players, rather than Tony and Harrison. I suppose Tony is a good goal threat, but Harrison, I'll say, isn't really in comparison to maybe Mbuemo. So I'll probably go Madison and Mbuemo for that reason.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Madison and Mbuemo. I just think Madison at 8 million pick, so he gives you that 8 million slot where you could change around Diaz, Kulusevski, etc. If you don't like Madison, and yeah, Mbuemo is also looking good. Did score on the weekend against United and Brentford, as we know, have really good fixtures coming up. So yeah, I'd probably go with that one. Krogsberg says Salah captain risky, especially if Man U supporters are going to protest. Yeah, obviously we've heard about that. That's why we would put your vice captain as Jesus in case that game is called off. You've got Jesus. Worst case scenario, just don't do, I guess, Trent as your vice, for example. So do different teams there. Michael Parker's says, yep, you're right. The team is decent and will hold on for a major minute. Rather 2 game weeks to bring Gross and Martinelli and or Diaz. I think we answered that question as well. David Hamill, welcome to the channel, mate. He says, Darwin replacement, play safe with Tony or risky Havertz.
I would play safe with Tony because obviously in the last Chelsea game, Kai Havertz had a clear-cut shot which he should have really scored but missed somehow. So with that in mind, that's put me right off Kai Havertz, and I'll probably go with Tony because he does have Fulham away next game as well. So his fixture is a bit more better than, well, I'll say Chelsea's one because they do have Leeds away. I guess that's another good fixture, but until I see Kai Havertz bagging goals and returning and not missing chances like that, it's kind of it's a put off from getting him in because he is a bit more more expensive than Tony.
Yeah, he's 8 mil, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 8 mil midfielder.
He's 8 mil, I think.
Yeah, and Tony being 7 mil. I mean, I have more faith in Tony to score rather than Kai Havertz at the moment. So I would probably, for a Darwin replacement, I'll play safe with Tony. I know he's been transferred in a lot, Tony, though, this week. He's, I think, 500,000 transfers in, and he's like the 5th most transferred in player this game week so far. But I would definitely still bring him in if I could in my team.
Yeah, regarding Havertz, he has obviously had a price draw. He's now 7.9 million. Personally, I would probably prefer Tony just because I think with Chelsea, I mean, do you already have Jesus? Let us know, because if you've got if you haven't got Jesus, then I'd get Jesus in. I mean, I know everyone probably has him at the moment, but if I had to pick between those two, yeah, Tony. I think you save 1 million pretty much. And with Chelsea, they still haven't really clicked going forward. And as Jordan mentioned, with Havertz, I'm still yet to see him be a reliable goal scorer for Chelsea. And until I see him, take that mantle of being of the main man and getting the goals, I am slightly put off. But Chelsea do have decent fixtures, I guess. So it could pay off if you want to be like take a bit of a punt. But yeah, I'd probably go Tony myself if I had to pick between those two and spread the money into defense. Personally, I think 5 at the back is the way. Like, I think 5 at the back is the way to go, rather than having 4 or 5 midfielders or 3, 4 or 3 strikers. And I just think there's going to be more value in the back. That's why I've gone with it. Hopefully that does pay off. We'll have to wait and see in the coming weeks. But yeah. We've got a few people watching us in here at the moment, guys. If you can all subscribe to the channel and also like the video, that would be very, very appreciated. And yeah, that is the team selection pretty much. Anything else you want to talk about, Jordan, regarding game week 3? Any questions or any any talking points that we've missed, you reckon? Or
There's probably one talking point. This might not really concern players because they probably bench this player, but Andreas Pereira obviously is still flagged as a yellow. And when we don't know until obviously team news what's going on with obviously Andreas Pereira and his situation.
I think he's fine. I think I saw some of that. It's not very serious, and that he should play. So yeah, I think he'll be fine. Not 100% sure, obviously, but yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I've got him on first on the bench. If he doesn't play, I've got Lavia as well. So yeah, he should be fine, hopefully.
But yeah, other than that, there's not really any issues that are really concerning for players in the team. And also, obviously, we know Darwin's suspended for 3 matches from that incident at Crystal Palace. But other than that, everyone is sound, really. No issues at the moment from players.
Yep. And also, guys, we will be back again on Saturday at 10 a.m. Obviously, deadline stream, so that will be a good one. So do subscribe so you don't miss that one, and ring the notification bell so you get a notification when we go live. But yeah, I got another comment here. Actually, we'll take this one. Yeah, guys, if you do have any comments or any questions regarding game week 3, or any transfer item moves that you're contemplating, do drop it in and we'll try our best to answer them. Walker or Emerson? I have Cancelo. I think he means Edison. I would personally go with Walker. I think you rather save that you save that 0.4 now, because obviously Walker's now 5.1 million. Yeah, I'd go Walker because you saved a bit of money. You're just cheaper. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would go Walker because you already have Cancelo, so you don't necessarily need a Man City goalkeeper. You can go different instead of having a defender and a goalkeeper from the same club. You're probably better off having a different player in goal rather than having one in defence and one in goal. Yeah, so I'll go with Walker.
Yeah, I like Walker. As you can see, I've brought him into my own team because he's 5.1 million now, and it looks like he's nailed. Obviously, I would have bought Walker in game week 1. The only reason I didn't bring him in was because I was scared that maybe his minutes get slightly, Oh, he means Emerson. I thought so. I think it was that is that a typo? Emerson. No, I'd go Walker. I just think you're guaranteed to get clean sheets at the moment. The way for me, double City defense is the way to go. They're the best defense in the league. I had Diaz 6.6 points both weeks. It's boring, but it racks you up the points. So yeah, I would definitely be going with the double City defense. It's a bit of a differential because the thing is, Ilyas, I hope I said your name right, but every single person pretty much in the game has Cancelo already. So when Cancelo gets an attacking return or whatever defensive return, it's not really a rank gain. But when you have two Man City defenders and they both keep clean sheets, then that's your differential. Because Cancelo on his own isn't really a differential. Same with Trent. That's why I went with a double up of Robbo and Trent just to get a differential in that sense. Because having one of them, it's like having Jesus as well. When he does score big, it's not really great for your rank unless you've got him captain. So doubling up on City is definitely effective. I know some people don't like doubling up on the same defense, but if it's Man City, then I personally do, because for me it's just guaranteed clean sheets most weeks. And if I just bring up the Man City fixtures, very 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 appealing. So they've got Newcastle next, which you can potentially see a clean sheet. Palace, Forest, Villa, Spurs, Wolves. You can see them keeping quite a few clean sheets in there. And to get a player like that, Walker for 5.1 million, who's kind of nailed to play and plays in the best defense in the league, I personally think it's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you agree, Jordan? Would you go with Emerson?
No, I do agree with going with Still Walker over Emerson Royale, because we've seen from Spurs that it's not been really convincing to bring these wing backs like Emerson Royale, especially when he's not nailed in that position either. He's substituted off, I think, from that last game. So he's not playing the full 90 minutes. And also, it's not convincing from him in particular that he's going to get returns. On the other hand, as well, Spurs haven't kept a clean sheet as well. And on the other hand, Walker has. And in comparison to them two, Walker has outpointed Emerson Royale currently as well.
Yeah, Emerson Royale did get a 9-point. He did get a 9-point haul sort of in the game week 1. He's got the 2 assists. He did get 2 assists in game week 1, but then obviously last week against Chelsea, he only got the 1-pointer. But I still think, Man City's defense is better than Spurs. And for me, it comes down to that. I would rather go with Perisic. I know Perisic is a bit of a risk. We'll chat about Perisic a bit. I would rather go with Perisic and take that bit of a risk and hope he starts than go with Emerson Royale personally. But I can see why. I mean, it's a good question. But yeah, for me, Man City double defense for me is easy. I'll probably plan to keep that for the foreseeable. Is that everything there? Yeah. So sorry. But yeah, we'll probably do wrap the stream up soon. We've got to actually shout out our mini league as always. If you haven't joined our mini league, guys, the code is on the screen at the moment. Do join that if you can. The link is also in the description and an auto join link. So yeah, do get on that one. And also, as always, guys, do follow our socials. Our Twitter is the FPL Duo if you want to interact with us on there. And yeah, we just tweet out a lot of our thoughts. So do check us out on there. But we are going to wrap the stream up in a sec. But please, guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new. And yeah, that is the teams for the team selection. So we are going to wrap it up here. If anyone's got anything else left, anything else you want to add, Jordan, to the video?
Just thank you everyone for their comments and feedback, and obviously questions that you've given to us. We've helped you on and given you the best advice. Obviously, you don't have to follow it, but we guide you in the best way we can in our own right opinion. But yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we just want to say thanks everyone that has joined the stream and that's commented and that's dropped a like on the video as well. If you haven't already, guys, do drop a like. Got to mention it. And yeah, we will be back again on Saturday, as I mentioned, for the deadline stream at 10 a.m. So it's an early deadline, so it should be a good one, as I've got quite a few transfers to make as well. And yeah, guys, hope to see you on Saturday. That is it from us from today, and we hope to see you on the next one. So yeah, please see you guys soon, and yeah, guys, take it easy.
Yeah, take it, guys. See you Saturday.